live from the YouTubes. It's Tuesday, January 30th, one of the last days of the month, so I thought it would be a good day to go live and speak to you all and maybe chat about some movies, some awards madness, which is what I put in the title, and just a lot of things going on this week. And I know January usually isn't the biggest and bestest month for movies, but we got quite a few. I'm working on my January tier list, like always, like every month, and that should be coming out tomorrow. But today, we're doing a live stream. Let's see what's going on in the little old chat. We had Connor here early. We had Jacob here early. Huge fan. Watched all 23 movies. Now that I've watched all 23 movies in the MCU, but giving them special needs, I'm kind of worried for Deadpool 3 because of its R rating. Jacob, yeah, I have, and we'll get into some of these super chats here in just a second. I have a little bit of concern based around Deadpool 3. I personally am happy that it's R rated, Jacob, but I can tell you, it's going to be raunchy. It's going to be dirty. I am curious though. Have you watched the other two Deadpool films? Because I don't think this will be more raunchy than those. If you haven't seen those, that may be a point to base this movie off of, because I have a feeling those are going to end up being more raunchy. How dirty is Disney going to get, Jacob? We have Nolan here. Hot take Oscar prediction. I'm predicting The Zone of Interest will win sound design at the Oscars. I don't hate that take, Nolan. K Sonic saying, yo, what's up? A lot of people in the chat today already, man. We have some people coming in right now. And Collie Wally, howdy, good sir. Howdy, Collie. Thanks for being here. Damon, don't worry, I'm here. Damon's here. It's always good. Team Rainbow, those glasses are cool as hell. Oh, thanks, Team Rainbow. I have no choice but to roll with them. It was actually somewhat of an accident. I ordered these trying to get the blue light blockers, and it had on the thing that they were going to be yellow. And I'm like, the lenses aren't going to be yellow. They're yellow. So because I've had blue light blockers before, it wasn't yellow. So these glasses were an accident, but I'm rolling with it. All right. And my vision's getting worse, and I tend to get headaches, so I'm having to roll with them during the videos now as well. So you may see me without them sometimes, but most of the time I'm gonna be having them on. A little bit of an Elton John thing going on. Do I rock it? Probably not. And we have some super chats based around the awards, but DJ C saying Barbie got snubbed hard, very snubbed. Those glasses are a nice accident. Way cool. Yeah, Xavier. And I'm still getting some migraines here and there just because I'm looking at the computer all the time, but I can tell a big difference while I'm working, man. They say the blue light blockers work. I'm getting that, which I've had them before, but this one's stronger, and I made sure to get a stronger one. I'm getting that vibe right now. I think it's working really well for me, and I'm stylish. Not really. But I appreciate it, Xavier. Mr. Penguin said 70s vibe. I love the 70s. That's when the holdovers was set. What's your favorite? Who's your favorite Spider-Man and Batman actor? Spider-Man actor. I'm a classic Tobey guy. Always love me some Tobey. And then Batman. It's actually a different question asking who the best Batman actor is, but we're just basing it around who the best Batman is. I'm going to go Kevin Conroy. That's always been my personal favorite Batman. It's kind of a cheat code, but I'm going to go Kevin Conroy. That's the voice that I always associate with Batman. Listen, guys, we got some super chats. First of all, if you are hither with me and you want to drop a like and a subscription, if you haven't already, that would be amazing. We're going to roll through some of these questions today and go live here for about 30 minutes. I always say that. It always ends up being more, but depends on how many questions we get, how many supers we get. Regardless, appreciate you guys for being here with me, just hanging out. I do have a cough, and I got some mucus going on, so you're going to have me pausing every now and then for a coughing break and drinking my pineapple hit water, which should prevent me from having to clear my throat every 5 minutes. But I just want to say thank you for being here. Also, we have 2 super chats already. We're going to get to those super chats that keep on coming in. Thank you guys for your support on the channel and on the life, which is mine. John says, have you seen the trailer of the new movie directed by Guy Ritchie? John, I was on that a while ago. I got to see half of it before, and my daughter started screaming, so I had to run over to her. But what I saw was great. What I saw was really fun. It does feel like a typical story, like he's gathering the troops and they got to go in and do the mission. But man, Henry Cavill is like on this unhinged phase I absolutely love, and I'm really just kind of vibing with the tone of this Guy Ritchie movie. You know, Guy Ritchie, he's always been a little up and down, but when he hits hard. And I really think this movie could hit, and I'm excited to see Henry Cavill doing something a little different, a little bit of the same, but I love seeing it nonetheless. All right, guys, let's see here. We've got a great question from Nolan before we get into these super chats. Nolan says, hello, Austin. My one question for today is, how do you critique film pacing? This is coming from someone who thought Oppenheimer dragged for half of it, and the zone of interest is all killer, no filler to me. Interesting, Nolan. I think I almost had the opposite reaction to you. I think not that the zone of interest had a lot of filler. I don't think it was a ton of filler. It was more just the unremarkable moments and story that we're getting to where the things going on, and I won't spoil anything, guys, because I know a lot of people haven't seen it. The things going on in the background is what's important in the zone of interest, and then that subtle storyline that builds up throughout the film. But the actual events going on in the foreground of the zone of interest did not interest me all that much, and I don't want to regard that as filler, but I do think the film is a little too long. It could have been shorter, and I think it would have gotten the same point across. Oppenheimer's the opposite for me. I feel like Oppenheimer did a great job of integrating, the music, the performances, most importantly, though, the editing that kind of spliced everything together to where even though you have many, many moments of just pure dialogue, there's always something that's keeping it afloat, whether that be the awesome score happening in the background of some of these conversation sequences, the very slick editing techniques, or, you spend too long with the character on a monologue, you start, especially if it is Oppenheimer himself, you start seeing those edits of, the very interesting and apparently practical visual effects that Nolan filmed kind of creep their way into it. So I found Oppenheimer not to be a movie that wasted a shot. I don't think there was a shot, a frame wasted in that film. You could argue that the third act holds a couple of things that could have been shortened just a bit to make it a shorter experience. But yeah, after seeing the film several times, I just think a lot of it is really necessary. But I've only seen the zone of interest twice. I've seen the zone of interest twice. So, both times I had more pacing problems with the zone of interest than I did Oppenheimer. I just think it flows a lot better. But, you watch a movie like the zone of interest for the message, for kind of what it's going for. And I'm trying not to spoil things because a lot of people haven't seen it. But it's definitely one of those movies that's at least worth checking out. But in terms of how you critique film pacing, every movie's different. Every movie is going to go about it in a different way. Sometimes you have the same director. They're going to handle it in a similar way in all of their films. But when you start getting into Scorsese films and Fincher films and Nolan movies, they all do it in a different way. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I can't really give you a broad statement on how I critique film pacing across the board. It really does have to do with my investment, and it has to do with how a movie flows. But every movie is just so different. It's hard for me to. But it's a great question, Nolan. I love getting questions like this because you make me think, and I appreciate that. Are you ready to meet the real Agent Argyle, Austin? Well, I'll have you all know, I am actually the real Agent Argyle. If you watch that film, I will pop up. So I'm just telling you that it may be considered a spoiler to some, but to you all, I believe you deserve to know the truth. So thank you for being here with the real Agent Argyle. Toon Talks, you're awesome. Nolan says, hola, Stumbo's media outlet. Stumbo's media outlet. That's Ian. What's up, Ian? Thanks for being here, man. I keep hearing all of the uproar about Greta and Margot. They got nominated. People miss. It was a good year for movies. Glenn Close still has 0. Wow. Scorsese, oh boy, only has 1 Oscar. Give me a break. I liked Barbie, but come on. Ian, part of me's with you. I think the uproar, some of it was more confusion than actual anger. Now, some of it was anger. I don't know if I completely agree with the anger. For me, I was a little confused as to why America Ferrera got nominated and Margot Robbie didn't. That was a little surprising for me because, that movie kind of runs through Margot Robbie. Say what you will about Ryan Gosling and how good he was, but it runs through her, right? So to nominate the two performances next to her and not nominate her is a little confusing. And then I have a little bit of some confusion as to why we're nominating the screenplay from Barbie, which for me was by far the weakest part of the film. From a writing standpoint, you could pinpoint specifics as to the weakest parts of the movie, but just, based around all the filmmaking things, I'd say the screenplay was the weakest part. The screenplay gets the nomination. The direction doesn't. And so I'm thinking that's strange. That's a little bit like, okay, because this doesn't work without Greta's direction. Any other director behind that movie, I don't know if it works as well. So, and I get it. The screenplay is, and Nicholas says the screenplay was the strongest part of Barbie. I disagree. I think the screenplay was the weakest part of Barbie. And America Has the Speech. Yeah, but that's it. And but that I think is part of the issue with the voting body. It's like, oh, you give us one big Oscar speech, one big crazy spiel, and you're going to get a nomination. That's what she did. And listen, she's amazing. I think she's an amazing actress. But was that one speech enough to put her over Rachel McAdams from Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret? I don't think it was. I don't believe it was. But, I think across the board, the Barbie nominations were a little strange. I did not think the screenplay was the strongest part of the movie. There's definitely strong parts to it, but with a stronger screenplay and it feeling a little more cohesive when it goes from Barbie world to the real world, I genuinely believe it would have been one of my favorite movies of the year. It wasn't, but it was really good. I still think Barbie's a great comedy. I don't want people to get that twisted. When I say I don't know if it should have been nominated for Best Picture, it's not saying I don't like it. I do genuinely like Barbie. I think it's a good movie. But, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. I have those films every year. Austin. And I promise I'll get to the other super chat here in just a second. Aren't you doing a top 10 best TV shows of 2023? Yeah, I keep pushing it off. And that is only my fault, nobody else's. I keep pushing it off because every day it seems like I've had something. Yesterday I planned on posting something different. I could not get around to it, so I'm like, well, that was a wasted day. Today I really wanted to get a live stream in. Tomorrow I've got my best movies or my tier list of January films. So I keep pushing it off. If Thursday works, Thursday's going to be a good day. If I push it off any longer, I'm just going to have to talk about most anticipated 2024. But I really, really, really want to get this 2023 video out, even though it's a little late. It's a little late. Michael Cox says, hey, there are 60 people on the stream. Make sure to like it. Michael, you're the best. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, I can't say thank you enough. We got 25 likes. Let's boost those numbers up. That's rookie numbers. 25 rookie numbers. We got to get up there. Let's get to 40 or 50. Who knows? Maybe 70. We can't get more likes than we have viewers. Come on now. Listen, it's a random day. It's a random time. I'm thankful y'all are here. Thankfully, y'all are hanging out with me today, man. Damon said, you heard it here first. Austin hates Barbie and what it stands for. I love it. I hate it. But I love it. But I hate it. But I love it. Love you, Damon. Thanks for being here, pal. Starred. We got to go to my starred comments because those are my super chats. Oh, my God. It's Mr. Penguin. Do you think Superman Legacy will be like the Tom Holland Spider-Man, where it's the origin just done differently? That makes sense. Well, Mr. Penguin, thanks for the super chat. But, I think I'm going to trust James Gunn when he says there's not going to be any part of an origin story in this Superman movie. Now, does that kind of give me a little bit of a sinking feeling in my stomach? I'm like, whoa, hey. We've never seen a Superman film without an origin story. We got to have the origin story. Well, it's kind of like the whole Spider-Man thing, right? We've seen it again, and we've seen it 3 or 4 times. Let's do something different. Let's start out where Superman's already Superman, and we get to know him through his actions and through some interesting characters. So I am very curious to see if he fully commits to that, or like Mr. Penguin says, they go a little bit of a Tom Holland route, and maybe bring in some flashbacks here and there. You know, you're with great powers comes great responsibilities, how they threw that into No Way Home, and that's an integral part of Spider-Man's origin story. Do we get some of that with Superman? And as we go through the films, we're kind of completing that already started origin story. I feel as if they're going to maybe do a little bit of that, even though James Gunn said they wouldn't. But at the end of the day, and I think Mike, I just looked down here. I think Mike says it beautifully. I just want a solid Superman without any weird crap. Yeah, just give me a solid Superman movie, James Gunn. Now, I'm a Man of Steel defender, Mike. You may not be. Some people may not be. I'm a Man of Steel defender. I really like me some Man of Steel. Okay? But I am very open to seeing James Gunn's incarnation, James Gunn's version of Superman. I'm very, very excited to see what he does. So that's where my head's at right now. But thank you for the super chat, my friend. And I am curious to see what he does with the character. Nicholas says, and sorry I keep saying that's a no-no. You don't do that. And I do it. I feel like I keep doing it. That's my bad. I stopped feeling disappointed in the Barbie snubs when people who don't bother to search up the other movies and claim that Gerwig was snubbed due to sexism, despite, yeah, right? We literally got the director of Anatomy of the Fall in there, and she's in there for writing as well. And yeah, a lot of people are kind of just chalking it up to sexism. Now, there's the cough I warned you about. Do I understand that there does need to be a little more of a diversity with the nominations? Absolutely. But this year specifically, that specific category, Nicholas, and we're just going to talk about Best Director, that category, who are you taking out? Who are we taking out? The only one that I would consider taking out is Marty. And that's, for some people, that's blasphemy. They're like, Austin, Marty deserves to be in there, my friend. And I think Marty does deserve to be in there. Would I take out Marty and put in Celine Song personally? Abso-freaking-lutely. I would do that in a heartbeat, because I think Celine Song just crushed it with Past Lives. Absolutely crushed it. So I would put her in. But when you're looking at this year, it is hard for me to say Martin Scorsese deserves to get that snub and absolutely does not deserve that nomination. I can't say that. I think part of me believes he should be in there. And so, you know, and we're just talking about this category. I think across the board, there needs to be a little bit more. But this category is a hard thing to do. And I can make an argument. I know people, you know, Alexander Payne, the guy, not so great. But Alexander Payne, the director, I can make an argument that the holdovers needed to be represented by a directing nomination. So I could say Payne, I could say Greta, I could say Celine Song, but the five that are in there are so dang strong. And I think all of that is a big testament to 2023. I genuinely believe that. The strongest movies of last year were so strong, and a lot of them got nominated for a lot of Oscars, which is cool. That rarely happens, but very, very front-heavy year, by the way. There were a lot of mid, is that what the kids say now? Mid? A lot of mid films, okay? But the ones that were great, and the representation across the board is fantastic in terms of, you know, really, really good movies. Again, I think there could be a little more diversity, but that category, you ain't going to hear me complain about that category. It's a great group of people. Is that the film drunk? Why are you looking so dapper right now? Sheesh. Come on, man. You blushing over here. You make me blush. I'm going to reflect the yellow of my glasses. Just the yellow top of the head and a red bottom, man. Look at my cheeks. My cheeks getting all rosy. Y'all making me rosy cheeks over here. Yeah, again, if you missed it, these were accidental. My wife ordered them with the blue light blockers, you know, and I didn't know the glasses were going to be yellow. It's a little Elton John touch, but she's a big Elton John fan. I don't know, maybe that makes me more attractive to her. Hey, if that's the case, I'm going to wear these all day. I'm going to be walking around naked with these glasses on. So if that's the case, hey, baby, come on now. I'll start singing Rocket Man. I'll do it. daggone it, if it would make her love me again. I'd swap out Martin for Alexander Payne, but Celine Song is definitely a great substitute as well. That's what I'm saying. I mean, just, you could throw in, here we go. I thought Chris Messina got snubbed for Air. There's another one. We've just got so many good directors from 2023. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And you know how big of a fan I am of Air, but again, I don't know if I would if I would chalk Air up to director as much as I would the 7 others fighting for that spot, but that's still a great choice. Kali Wally says rip Suzume nomination. Yeah. Oh, Kali Wally, that is painful. Absolutely painful. I was dying to get a Suzume nom. And then you see Robot Dreams get in there. And I can't say listen, me saying Robot Dreams getting the nomination is dumb. I don't think that's the case, but I can't say anything because I haven't seen it. And so that may end up being the best movie of 2023. I don't know. But all the other films that got in, I was pretty happy with. Would I have put Suzume in over Elemental and some of the other? Yeah, absolutely. I would have also put TMNT over some of those other movies. So it is a little disappointed. Oh yeah, and Black Guy at the South brings up a good point. Yeah, Ben Affleck did direct Air. I don't know what. Maybe we were talking screenplay. Were we talking about screenplay? Yeah, I think we were, because Affleck directed. And if we were talking screenplay for Air, I would say Air is 6. Not that it had a chance to ever get in, but I would say Air is 6. And not just because I predicted it to get in, because I did. But it's just, that's one of those categories where there were like 6 or 7 possible choices for screenplay. And then beyond that, nothing. And so I think the 5 that got in were probably the right 5. Personally, though, you know how I feel about Air. Who did write the screenplay? Was it Chris Messina? Now I don't know. Chris Messina. I think, wasn't he the guy? Wasn't he an actor in that movie? He was an actor in the movie. That's who Chris Messina is. Can somebody tell me who Chris Messina is? I don't think he was the screenplay. I don't think he was the writer. If that's the case, Chris Messina probably should not have gotten in for Air, because that was a very small performance. But I'm pretty sure he was an actor in Air. I don't think he wrote it. Yeah, see, Alex Convery wrote Air. Okay, so who the heck is Chris Messina? Because off the bat, I have no clue. Yeah, so I got another super chat, guys. Hang on. Here we go. Michael Cox, I almost missed you, pal. You guys let me know if I ever missed these super chats. Yeah, he played the angry guy. See, he was a supporting actor in Air. No, I wouldn't have put him up for a nomination. He was great in his few scenes. And I guess that is the definition of a supporting actor. And we've seen, 5 minutes of screen time get nominated before, but I wouldn't put him in there. It's funny. I would say Lily Gladstone was more of a supporting actor than everybody else in her category. I think that was the big argument against Lily Gladstone, is like, yeah, she's not really lead, she's more supporting. And I think if she would have been nominated in supporting, she'd have a good chance to win, even though Divine Joy Randolph is just dominating that category. But it's a weaker category this year than I've seen it in a long, long time. That's why Divine Joy Randolph is just completely running away with it this year. Yeah, I don't think he had enough screen time to get that. Air was not that great. Average movie, good for what it was, though. Man, that hurts. Don't like it. Don't like what you're saying. What you're saying is something I don't like. What you're saying is something I disagree with. I don't agree with the words that you are typing on your keyboard. That's okay, though. That's fine. It's all right. Gladstone would have dominated had she gone supporting, but I understand why she'd go lead as well. I do too. And the fact that it is, she's in the conversation with Emma Stone. Now, do I think Emma Stone has the edge right now? Yes, I believe Emma Stone has the edge over Lily Gladstone, but she's so good, it gets past the conversation of, you know, could she be supporting actor? No, it doesn't matter at that point because she's so freaking good in Killers of the Flower Moon. I am happy she is in lead actor, even though there's a chance that she loses it. But her notoriety is just like through the roof right now. You're killing me with that air take, Smalls. No, man. No. That's the right take. That's the right take. Unless you were talking about the person that didn't like it. But if you're talking about me, it is the correct take. My opinion is the only one that matters. That's how some people feel about movies. Do I feel that way? Absolutely. Air is the best movie that's ever existed. It is the greatest film of all time. Barbie is a bad movie with one good part, Ken. Oh, Mr. J movie. I don't think Barbie's a bad movie. I think Barbie is a really, really good movie. Again, would I have nominated it? Probably not. But it's a really good film. Oh, no, I really enjoyed it. Yes, thank you. Yes, see, we are on my side here. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Wonka was amazing. Such a surprise. Yeah, I was very, very happy with Wonka. My wife, you know, I was extremely hesitant to, you know, let my wife watch that with me because I'm like, I don't think she's gonna like it. Her taste, man. She either likes something or she hates it. Not really any in between. And then when the movie's over, she's like, yeah, that was okay. But it's always the tone of her voice on how the movie was. If she says, that was okay, then she loved it. If she says, that was okay, she didn't like it. So it's really reading the tone of her voice. But when you turn a camera on, she can talk about a movie for days. That's the beautiful thing about my wife. That's why I married her. The Wonka song slap. Air is not a good movie. Or not a bad movie, but I think it was overhyped for me. That's fair. You know, Nicholas, a lot of that probably came from me. I will take the blame. I hyped that movie up quite a bit. Air was pretty forgettable. Rocky McFly, legend on this channel. You're hurting my feelings, though. Air was fantastic. I've seen it 4 times. I have a problem. Dance the Night Away in Barbie is better than that Billie Eilish song. You know, Dance the Night Away, I would have absolutely nominated, but I do like the Billie Eilish song. The Billie Eilish song is really good. It's very heartfelt and emotional, and I get why it was nominated, to be honest with you. I still prefer I'm Just Ken. I'm Just Ken. Is it because I have the sweatshirt? Maybe. But I really like the Billie Eilish song. The Oscars' biggest snub was the Iron Claw. And I have some super chats to get back to, by the way, folks. Yes. Now, would I have nominated it for some categories that people were really mad about that it didn't get in? Screenplay's tough. It's really, really tough. But when you look at Zac Efron, when you look at, is it a top 10 film of last year? In my opinion, absolutely. When you look at some of these other categories that it didn't even get looked at in, that's where I say the Iron Claw should have gotten in, would have gotten in, and could have gotten in if A24 would have spread the love a little bit. I think the release date thing was a little off for that film. It's doing well at the box office, but in terms of awards love and only putting all the chips in on Past Lives and not really spreading the love out to the Iron Claw, man, it's a bummer. It really is a bummer because I feel like we're going to look back in 5 years and say the Iron Claw was one of the best movies, was not represented very well. So who do we blame? Do we blame the voters? We could. Part of me wants to a little bit. But I can speak from experience and say they were not sending out screeners very timely. They were not, putting it out there for people to see in a way that would have gotten it nominated. I think part of that is on A24, to be honest with you. DJC says Saltburn got snubbed. I don't think it did. Barry was great in lead. Some of the things about it, maybe screenplay. I like Saltburn. I didn't love Saltburn. Can you recommend me one movie, any time period, genre, etc., for next month? How about, and you may have seen this, it's a very popular film. How about a movie that I just watched? I just rewatched it. Because guess who's working on his greatest movies of all time list? This guy. Or favorite movies of all time list. I guess that's what we'll call it. And I watched Heat for the fourth time? I watched Heat for the fourth time. Heat is genuinely, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm going to hold my thoughts. Heat. Oh, there we go. I just watched that for the first time, dude. See? We're on the same wavelength. Oh, but you watched it for the first time. How was that? See, I would love to go back to my Heat experience, first time Heat experience. I was a little younger. I think I was in high school. I was 17, I want to say, when I first saw Heat, 16, 17, and then I saw it again in college. No, this is the third time. So this is the third time I've seen the movie. What a great film. Oh my God, what a great film. I am glad you watched it. Glad you loved it. I'm very curious how your experience was with Heat. Have you read Dune? Yes. Yeah, I've read Dune. It took me a long time, but I did it. It was great. Boy, oh boy, am I really excited for part 2. Part of me wishes I wouldn't have read the whole thing, and then I would have been really surprised by part 2. I still feel like Denis Villeneuve's going to surprise us with part 2, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. But Dune Messiah, haven't read that yet. I can't wait for Dune part 2, man. We should have gotten it back in November. We didn't get it. Now we've got 1 more month to wait. I have less than a month because I have a fan screening that I got tickets to. Because I don't know if we're doing critic screenings for this movie, but I got a fan screening. Let me go back to this, and I know I skipped right over Michael's super chat. That stupid cat is going to be Agent Argyle, isn't it? This is Michael. Michael, what do you have against the Argyle cat? Michael. Yeah, well, probably. It's probably going to be the Agent Argyle cat at the end of the day. We're going to get to the end of the movie, and we're going to reveal that it was the whole time the cat. And I think everybody's going to be disappointed. But at the same time, we're kind of watching this movie to have fun. It's stupid. It's silly is what it seems like. I actually had an opportunity to see it yesterday, but I didn't want to drive 3 hours to see Argyle, to be honest with you guys. So I didn't see it. I'm not driving 3 hours to see Argyle. Maybe Madame Web. I'll drive 3 hours to see Madame Web, even though I think Argyle is going to be better than Madame Web. But I've already discussed with John, and you know who John is. If you don't know who John is, please tell the others in the chat who John is. That we definitely want to do a reaction together for Madame Web. So if I get a screening for Madame Web, then you will see John and I doing a reaction together. And we are under the impression that it's going to be a really fun reaction because we don't think the movie is going to be very good. But we could also come out and be very surprised, so you could get a great reaction. Man, a lot of people wondering who's John. Now, I'm curious. Nobody's got it yet. Not John Campea. Who's John? Oh, come on. You guys got to know who John is. He's in the space. And we've done a mini John Cena. Yep, that's it. It's going to be me and John Cena doing a reaction to Madame Web. Yeah, Rocky McFly's got it. It's the flick pick. It's my boy, my guy. John Connor. John F. Kennedy. Yeah, it's the flick pick. If we get an early screening for Madame Web, we're very excited to see that movie together. Upset alert. Madame Web gets a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, JK. Listen, I'd be so happy. I would be so happy if that was the case. But alas, I don't. Is that my cousin? Sorry, I just cut off the other super chat. Rumor has it I'll be seeing Doc and Marty in person at Megacon. Wish you were here, cuz Joe. I'm so jealous. And here's why I'm mad, folks. We got 80 people in here right now. We got 80 people in here and only 44 likes. We got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Let's get those numbers up, baby. Let's at least get to 50 likes. If we get to 50 likes, I'll die happy and sexy. No. At least I can die happy. No, I'd like to get those up to 50 likes. But hey, thanks for being here regardless. Listen, let me tell you guys a little story before I get to these next super chats. I was invited by the man himself, whom's live stream I was just on last week, and that's Jonathan Chandler. His full name is Jonathan. Everyone go to his page and say, is your full name Jonathan? It's not, but that would be really funny. That'd be so funny. Jonathan. It's so stupid. Why am I saying that? But he invited me to go to Megacon, and I had to, unfortunately, decline his offer because, frankly, I have a baby, and that baby requires money and goodwill towards men. And so I must save money and take care of the baby instead of going to the Megacons with the Shods. I am very disappointed because I wanted to see Jonathan and Cody Leach really bad. Really bad. I love those guys. Yeah, man. I met Cody Leach and I'm like, that is just the best dude. So I'm very disappointed I don't get to see those guys. And most of all, I'm disappointed I don't get to see my cousin Joe. I would really like to see my cousin Joe this weekend. One of these days we're going to make it work. But here's what Joe's saying. Here's when I knew I made a mistake. When I saw, which I still could have told him I was coming, when I saw that freaking Doc and Marty's going to be at Megacon. Oh my God. Look at this, man. He's going to be at Megacon. He's going to be at Megacon. And so, Joe, I'm jealous. I love you. I can't nestle the infant child. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to see Doc and Marty this weekend. I can't wait to see that picture, man. I am so excited for you. I actually had another opportunity this weekend, but I can't do that as well. A couple of things that popped up at the last second. But man, I'm very excited for everybody that gets to go. If you guys are in Orlando this weekend, first of all, my cousin Joe will be there. Second of all, Sean Chandler, Cody Leach, all those guys. And there's so many people. I think Film Stock is going to be there. A lot of great people. So please go check them out. There's my pitch for Jonathan. Jeffrey says we love Sean. King Daddy Goat says, Shawnee. No, it's Jonathan, King Daddy Goat. What's your percentage on Justice League? Is it any good? If you're talking, Brody, are you talking the new animated Justice League? I'll be talking about that tomorrow on my January tier list. I was a little disappointed. I thought it was fine. It's not a very good movie. It's not a very bad movie. It's very middle of the road for me. So I don't have super high praise, but I'm definitely going to be talking about it tomorrow. Stay tuned. Notifications, all those beautiful things. Stay tuned for my Justice League, a little bit of a Crisis on Infinite Earths part 1 talk. So we'll do that for sure. Sorry about the cough. I'm dying on the inside, but on the outside, I smile. Rocky McFly, the legend himself. Thank you for being here, Rocky McFly. A bit late in the live stream, so maybe you already covered it, but Alexander Payne should have got nominated for Best Director. Rocky McFly. I can understand the Alexander Payne snub. I get it. I understand it. It's a stacked category. I'm not devastated. That being said, personally, I think he should have got nominated. The Holdovers, look at me. The Holdovers is an outstanding film. Right behind Oppenheimer last year for me. A lot of that has to do with the director. And so I would not have been shocked if he got nominated. I wasn't shocked that he didn't get nominated. It is such a stacked category. Personally, I'm with you, Rocky McFly. I believe he should have gotten nominated, but I'm not devastated. I'm not calling for anybody. What a great film. A lot of that has to do with the direction. What a beautiful movie with beautiful performances and some great music in that movie, man. Some great nostalgic music. I always say it's a 70s movie with an 80s vibe. Very John Hughes-esque type, heartfelt humor, warmth. You know, you get that warmth when you watch. It's not as funny as a John Hughes movie, but very warm movie. And I'm happy that they at least got recognized for screenplay. I'll say that. Rocky McFly again with another question. I just bought You Hurt My Feelings starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I actually thought it was a bit of an underrated gem of last year. Yeah, Rocky McFly. I actually, I don't even know if I put that on my 2023 list now that I'm thinking about it. I thought that was a pretty good movie. It's a good film. It was very, flew under the radar. The release, even my screenings were just kind of all over the place with that movie. I didn't get a chance to go because it's like, we've got one here, but it's going to be also a fan screening. And then we got one here. And then the movie didn't release until like a month later everywhere else. But so it's one that I think slipped under a lot of people's radar. But it wasn't a bad film. It wasn't a bad film at all. I quite liked it. I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus is slowly becoming a nice, dramatic / still slightly comedic actor. And I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing out of her. She's got another film coming out this year that looks really good. Joe says, Holdovers was a banger for sure. Yeah, I was so thrilled, Joe, that you watched The Holdovers. If I could just get everybody to sit down and watch that movie, I would. I got my dad to watch it with me, and I can't wait to get my brother to watch it with me. It's such a good movie. And The Holdovers is one of my new Christmas comfort films. I can't wait to show the fam. And that's the thing about it. It's one of those you got to show the family. That's the sign of a good, heartfelt movie is you got to show the family. Joe said, I cried. I did too, Joe. First time I watched it, I did. I was sitting in that theater, got a little misty-eyed. Somebody was cutting onions in the back of that theater because I was getting a little misty-eyed. And I kind of got misty-eyed when I watched it with my dad too, to be honest with you. So it's definitely a good experience for sure. We need to see more Julia Louis-Dreyfus appreciation. Gives an all-time great comedic performance in Veep. Yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus still going strong. We got the Seinfeld days; those were great. But then she started popping back up in Veep, and now a bunch of A24 movies, and in the Marvel Universe. Obviously, she's going really strong, having a great kind of run. I don't want to say she's fully on a run yet, but she's having a nice little run right now. What's the most overrated Best Picture nomination? It's hard for me to say Maestro's overrated because I think a lot of people are divided on it. So I guess I'd say Barbie. Yeah, I'd say Barbie. Again, I really like Barbie. I think Barbie's good. It's a good movie. It's a funny movie. And I hate to say that. Maybe Zone of Interest, the way people are talking about it, like it's the top 5 movie last year, which I don't think so. But yeah, I guess I go Barbie. But they're all good, guys. This is a great year for Best Picture noms, except for Maestro, which I thought was fine. Maestro was fine, but I don't know if it was Best Picture worthy. That's the only movie I would look at and say that is definitely not worthy of Best Picture. Maestro is not worthy of Best Picture. Great questions, by the way, Rocky. That Julia Louis-Dreyfus love needs to be spread a little more. Mike Affleck, Daredevil versus Reynolds, Green Lantern versus Clooney. Clooney, Batman versus Barry, Catwoman. Now, Mike, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about all of them in a battle fighting each other? Because if that was the case, I think Reynolds, Green Lantern takes the cake. The dude's just creating a big green tank and killing everybody. I don't think Clooney's Batman's smart enough to take on that. But if we're talking quality, who would I take? There's actually one character in here that I don't hate, and that's Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I believe Ben Affleck got a little too much hate for his performance in Daredevil. Now, I get it. Mike said in a game of poker. Very different conversation. But you look back at that Daredevil film. Now, it's very early 2000s. It's very timely. It's a product of its time, absolutely. And there are some big issues, big flaws, bad CGI, all of that. But I don't hate Affleck's Daredevil. I don't hate his play on the character. I don't hate his relationship with Favreau in that movie. I don't even hate his kind of the. I don't want to say I want to say I love the romance between he and Elektra, but I don't hate the affection that he shows for her in the film, if that makes sense, because he shows it in a very Matt Murdock type of way. It sounds weird. It feels like a bad take because nobody likes that Daredevil movie. But I don't hate that Daredevil movie, and I don't hate Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe you guys just gave me a movie I gotta watch tonight, but it's not bad. So that's my winner of that category, Micah. Great question. Brady said fire take, or Brody said fire take. Thank you, Brody. Mike said I agree. Actually, see, thank you. The seesaw scene is peak cinema. That's where the movie that's where the movie starts to really fall apart. But look, I don't hate some things about that movie, man. Charlie Cox or Ben Affleck? I gotta go Charlie Cox. Look, Ben has his positives. Cox is so well-rounded as the character at this point, and to me, that all culminated with season 3, which was just a truly spectacular performance. Damon says Michael Clark Duncan carried that Daredevil movie. Man, let me tell you, Damon, I don't hate Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. I genuinely don't. I don't understand, because he got some hate for that movie. I'm like, this guy's intimidating. He pulls off, the weight of the character, not physically, the weight of the presence of the character. Like when Michael Clark Duncan's on screen, you feel it, right? And so when he's on screen as Kingpin, I felt him. I felt his presence. Man, Colin Farrell was fun too. Maybe it's just a good movie. Maybe it's just a good movie. I know the seesaw scene is stupid. It is stupid. It's not good. But maybe it's just not bad. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, the script's bad, maybe, but the movie's kind of fun, right? I love this. We're bringing Daredevil back to relevance. This is a lot of fun. A great super chat, Mike. Great super chat. Ingrid Plaza, $20 super chat. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. Your contribution means a lot to the channel, and I just want you to know that. Thank you. You're awesome. I'm a 49er fan. Oh, well, maybe a little less awesome now. No, 49ers are fine. They're fine. Am I excited about them tying the Steelers in Super Bowls if they win? No. But can I root for the Chiefs? I don't know. Honestly, whoever wins the Super Bowl this year, I don't care. I don't care, because if the Chiefs win, Mahomes passes Big Ben in Super Bowls, that sucks. And then if the 49ers win, they tie Pittsburgh in Super Bowls, which it's still just tying. But, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Who cares? I do like Brock Purdy's story, though. It's a great story. I could not handle the first half of the NFC Championship. Yeah, that was rough. San Fran played bad. But you know who botched it? Dan Campbell. You can thank Dan Campbell for that win, because opting to not kick the second, I was fine with the first. The second field goal, oh boy. And then clock management at the end, using that timeout. What are you doing? Even I know that. Come on. So I decided to put on quite the depressing leaving Las Vegas. That's amazing. The 49ers then came back. Do I need to watch a depressing movie for the Super Bowl? I don't think you do. I have a good feeling about the 49ers in the Super Bowl. If I was a betting man, and I am, actually, I would probably throw money on the Chiefs, because it'd be better odds and I get a better payout. But I would set the odds probably 6-5, minus 6-5 in San Fran's favor. I'd say they're about 7-point favorites in the Super Bowl. And that's a lot for a Super Bowl. That's a lot. But this Chiefs team has been so inconsistent this year. I feel as if the still a little inconsistent 49ers team, but more consistent 49ers team can get it together. And hopefully they learn from their mistakes in the first half of the NFC Championship. So I know you guys don't care about Super Bowl talk, but it's fun. I love sports. I'm a sports junkie, and I will be betting on the Super Bowl. Just kidding. I do not. The algorithm, I will not be betting on the Super Bowl. I will be betting Monopoly money algorithm. So I'll be betting it's fun. That's for sure. Would you guys like to see me do a Deadpool 3 trailer reaction during the Super Bowl? Since my team's not in it, I can do it. You know, the only way I wouldn't do it is if the Steelers win the Super Bowl, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Okay. Even though we didn't have TJ Watt when we played the Bills. That sucked. Okay. Super chats. Ingrid, hey, thank you. You're awesome. If you've got another depressing movie, throw on The Iron Claw. Because it's an amazing film, but it's not a happy film. It's an amazing film, though. And then Manchester by the Sea. Just go full on sadness. That's what you need. So if it gets to be halftime and they're down by 17, just throw on Manchester by the Sea. Everything will end up perfectly at that point. Awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Collie Wally, thank you for the super chat. Collie Wally, what are you doing? Poor Things is still not playing anywhere near me, so I went and watched The Lobster the other day. I really enjoyed it, but what the hell, Yorgos? Yeah. Yeah. The Lobster's crazy. It's a crazy movie, man. Yorgos is a one-of-a-kind director. There is nothing like his filmography. Even the Favorite. On its surface, just a standard, easy to watch period piece. And, it's got Emma Stone. It's got Olivia Colman. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be kind of boring. No, it's this crazy, awkwardly shot, fisheye heavy period piece about this royalty, this royal family, and all of these people arguing and yelling at each other, and it's just it's crazy. It is crazy. Yorgos is such a one-of-a-kind director. And so I'm excited for you, Collie Wally, to see Poor Things whenever it comes near you. I don't know when it's coming. I think right now it's just in theaters. I don't know when it's coming to streaming or when it's going to be available on demand. So it may be more difficult to see, but hopefully by the time we get to the Oscar ceremony, you'll be able to see it. I saw it through a screener. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to see it either. Michael says, Austin, what are you doing? I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry. Did you hear the Arthur Smith news? Might be worse than Canada. No. If anyone thinks that, they genuinely need to rethink their life. I know you're just messing with me, Hit Cannon, but no. Yeah, the Arthur Smith news, new Steelers offensive coordinator. I would have taken him with open arms 3 years ago when he led the Titans to be the number 2 rushing offense in football, and then the number 7 overall offensive in football 2 years in a row, and then led him to an AFC championship. That's a pretty good run. His time in Atlanta wasn't great. That being said, being a head coach is a lot different than being an offensive coordinator. And so I can't fully look at his tenure in Atlanta and say that's what's going to happen. Because the schemes that he ran in Tennessee much more resembles the schemes that Mike Tomlin wants to run in Pittsburgh. So I actually think schematically he's a fit. Is it a boring hire? Yeah, probably, but it's a massive upgrade over what we had. And I believe if he decides to use his players properly, which is my only concern, I like the scheme fit. He's a really zone-heavy guy, and he has his very heavy focus on the number 1 wide receiver, and for us, that's George Pickens. So Pickens is going to be happy. Man, sorry. Listen, I could talk football all day. It's a boring hire. Probably not great for Kenny Pickett because he's not a quarterback hire, but it will be good for the rest of the team, and makes me think they could go with Mason Rudolph, which I would be a lot happier with. Don't really believe in Kenny Pickett. I think that could be the downfall of the team, but I don't hate the Arthur Smith hire. I don't hate it, especially under Mike Tomlin. It's fine. But I would take Satan himself over Matt Canada. I would put this out there over Matt Canada. Let's see here, guys. I know we got some more super chats. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get to them. Collie Wally Yorgos, you got to see poor things when you get the chance. Rocky McFly. Rocky McFly. I think what you meant to say is that The Holdovers is the best movie of 2023 and the best movie of the 2020s. Also, ever since buying The Holdovers on Blu-ray, I've watched it 12 times. Rocky McFly. Woo! 12 times. You beat me. I've only watched it 4 or 5, which granted, I'm watching every movie you could possibly imagine. So not a lot of time there, but The Holdovers is amazing. And I think there is a conversation to be had for it being my favorite movie of the 2020s, or in there. Obviously, I wouldn't have it over Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is, I don't want to give away my list, my best of the decade list, but Oppenheimer's definitely up there. Christ on a crutch 12 times. I understood that reference, but yeah, it's a fantastic film, Rocky McFly. And I love seeing your love for it. Makes me happy. Love seeing the box that you got. Makes me even happier. And I am super excited to see the movie again whenever I get the opportunity. It is genuinely one of the most amazing. I just saw something. Hang on. We got to take a break because there's somebody in my chat, an old friend by the name of Jordan Bentley, who was a friend growing up. And Jordan and I, we wrote, directed, shot, edited a trailer for our movie that we came up with called Kazi Cosmo. Now, who's Kazi Cosmo, you ask? Oh, he's a man, but he's not just a man. He's a man with superpowers. He's a myth amongst men. And it's a pretty legendary character. Kazi Cosmo was a pretty sweet film that we never got to make the movie, but the trailer was really cool. And so one of these days, Jordan, I'm going to go find that. I'm going to find it. Maybe I'll watch it. I don't want to do this. Maybe I'll put it on YouTube. Maybe I won't. Who knows? But if you guys would like to see Kazi Cosmo, one of the movies of all time. It's one of the movies of all time. Insert whatever words you will before that. It is definitely a movie. I would love to put my old videos on here one day, man. We've got so many fun ones. Jordan and I, we had some fun. But beyond that, man, I used to just, I went crazy. I wanted to be a director for so long when I was a kid. And I loved movies so much when I was a kid. So I just go around shooting stuff. And it was stupid. It was dumb. But it was really fun. And I have to say, Kazi Cosmo was pretty sweet. Kazi Cosmo is my pick to win Best Picture 2024-2025 Headcanon. Yes, Headcanon gets it. But Jordan said, please do. That would be... It's on my old laptop. I'm going to have to find it. I'm going to have to go find that one of these days. And then show my wife, and she'll roll her eyes and say, never put that out there. It should never see the light of day. And I'll say, I get it, honey. Jordan, I hope you're well. You and Chelsea, the whole family. That's sweet, man. That brings back good memories. Do you guys ever get nostalgic over things? I just got nostalgic over things. That was nice. I'm sorry. I keep going. I got to keep going back to these super chats, man. We keep getting Michael. We got Michael. Rank. Oh, I can already see what you're doing to me, and it hurts. Rank the 2023 endings. Boy. Quiet Girl, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower. Oh my God. Woo. Okay. Let me just give you my top 3. Because that's tough. It'd be hard for me to rank that on the spot. Oh, man. The Zone of Interest ending is amazing. As much as I, talk about that film and certain things don't work, the Zone of Interest ending is amazing. So I would probably go... The Killers ending's great, but I see why it's a little divisive. The Talk to Me ending... I would go Zone of Interest 3, Past Lives 2. Oh, Guardians. No, Past Lives is great too. Oh, man. Do I put Guardians over Killer or Zone of Interest? Okay. Guardians 3 and Zone of Interest tied at 3. Past Lives ending 2. I love the way that movie wraps up. And then Oppenheimer 1. The ending to Oppenheimer gets me every time. I love it. I love it. That's great, Michael. Great question. It's hard for me to rank all those, but it's a good list. We had some amazing endings in 2023, for sure. Collie Wally says, Laura Cartman's score for American Fiction was fantastic. My money is still on Ludwig Göransson to win, but I can see why she received a nomination. You know, I liked the score in American Fiction. I didn't love it, Collie. And maybe I need to go back and listen to it. It was one of those that works really well in context, but it wasn't super memorable for me. So maybe there's like a little bit of a disconnect there. I need to go back because I just don't like, when it got nominated, I was like, what did that sound like again? And so I definitely need to go back and check it out. I don't hate that it was nominated. I do hate that Spider-Verse didn't get in. Would I put Spider-Verse in there? I would 1,000% I would put Spider-Verse in there over over Indiana Jones. I would put it in there over American Fiction as well. But Indiana Jones is the one for me where I'm like, I just don't get it. And look, love the Indiana Jones music. I love the Indiana Jones score when you're talking about all-time significance. But this new movie, I don't know what was different about the new film compared to the older films. So I would say put Spider-Verse in over John Williams, and then that American Fiction score, I don't hate it. I don't hate that being in there. But Ludwig's, Göransson's getting it 100%. It's an iconic all-time score. It's really great. It's really, really great. But yeah, Collie, listen, American Fiction is a great movie as a whole. It's a really, really good film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I hate the fact that I had to rank it so low on my Best Picture movies ranked. I think I put it at 7. But that's just because this year is so stacked. It's so stacked. Damon! Do you think Disney and Warner Brothers dropped the ball on their 100th anniversary by not releasing a Mickey Mouse and Looney Tunes movie in theater? Ooh, Damon! With the good questions. Yeah, I think so, right? I think so. When you have a 100-year anniversary, you want to celebrate the cultural significant aspects and elements that made you the biggest, and Disney's the biggest, right? Warner Brothers is close. And I'd say Mickey Mouse was a pretty integral part of that. Even if it was just a DVD movie. What was the Three Mouseketeers? The Three Musketeers Mickey Mouse animated film in the early 2000s. I love that movie. But yeah, giving us something like a Fantasia or just something along those lines. A big Mickey Mouse project would have been so cool. And then Looney Tunes. We just got Space Jam, which wasn't great. The new Space Jam. But I would love to see just go back to classic Looney Tunes. You know, we've got the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner project they were working on, and then everything's fallen through. And I'd love to see Sylvester and Tweety Bird back on the small screen at least, but the big screen. And then give us some classic projects, man. Bring those back. And I don't know if kids these days love those things as much as we did, but they haven't really had the opportunity to love them because we just haven't gotten a lot of it these days. And so you open that door, the characters are so iconic and so just fun to watch. I think kids could grow to love these characters. I know for a fact my daughter, man, she may not like it, but I'm going to show her a lot of Looney Tunes cartoons when she gets a little older. And hopefully she'll feel some of that magic that I felt when as a kid, because those original Looney Tunes cartoons are just so magical. Oh my God, they're so magical and so good. So good. But the question is, what kind of project do they bring to the big screen? That's the big question. I can't answer that. Big question. Disney has dropped all of its balls lately. I like the way you phrased that. I don't want to say all of them. Guardians was really good last year. Elemental was solid. What else was Disney? Avatar was huge. And that was Fox, but it was Disney. Avatar was massive. So that was a big win. But this last year, Wish kind of fell flat. Ant-Man fell flat. Marvels fell flat. Yeah, they did drop quite a few balls last year. I like the way you phrased that. They dropped quite a few. Mickey Mouse was my first of many voice impressions. Well, hey, fellas. Ha-ha. Hi, everybody. Ha-ha. Gosh, Mickey. Oh, yeah. Sorry. You said that, and I just broke into, hi, Mickey. That's Minnie Mouse. Let's go. Austin, what's your thoughts on YMS? Your movie sucks. I haven't watched him in a while. It's been a bit. It's been a good bit since I've watched Your Movie Sucks. So, hey guys, let's try not to spam the same question in the chat. Let's try not to do that. I promise, I'll get to as many as I can get to. But if you are wanting to do that, hey, dropping a like, man. Dropping a like would be awesome. So if you'd rather do that than spam the same question. MODOK or Quantumania not being nominated for MODOK is devastating. Yes, MODOK was iconic. I actually didn't hate MODOK. He looked stupid. He looked terrible, but I didn't hate him. He was kind of fun, to be honest with you. Boy, the legend returns. Holy moly. I just went back to see if I had any more super chats, and guess what? Oh my God. Rocky McFly, the legend. The legend returns with, I kind of sound like Paul Giamatti. Crazy. Rocky McFly returns. Man, thank you, Rocky McFly, for being the legend, being a Badoo. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a big donation. I appreciate it. Means a lot. Your support is integral to this channel and to Austin getting to screenings. So, Rocky McFly, maybe I'll make it to Madame Web now. Thank you so much. No, Rocky, I appreciate it, my friend. As always, being awesome, asking good questions, sharing that love for the holdovers, which we both do. Thank you so much for the super chat and for the donation. It really does mean the world. And barring another super chat, folks, this might be where we end as well, because we went well over an hour. I always say 30 minutes. 30 minutes, Austin. And guess what? Nope. Goes right over an hour, because time flies when you're having fun. I think we all know that Oppenheimer is going to win Best Picture, but if it doesn't, what do you think could be the dark horse to beat it? I thought it could have been The Holdovers, but with Payne not getting a director nom, that makes me a bit nervous. Well, Rocky McFly, may I introduce you to a movie by the name of Argo, in which Ben Affleck did not get nominated for Best Director, but the movie won Best Picture. Now, it's rarer. It's a little more rare, but it's happened a couple of times. And The Holdovers not getting the director nom, I don't think that's a killer, A, because people don't like Alexander Payne. There's some things about him, rightfully so, that people do not like, but unfortunately, that causes people not to vote for him, specifically him, right? Here's the cool thing about The Holdovers, though. The Holdovers is such a good movie that it trumps the stigma of Payne, right? So it gets nominated where it really matters, except for director. But I can understand director, and I actually called this in my predictions video. Well, I predicted it, but I said he may not get in because people don't like him. So that happened. Okay. Here's the thing. It gets the editing nom. It gets the screenplay nom. It gets the Divine Joy Randolph nom. And it gets the Giamatti nom. If Giamatti, Divine Joy Randolph, maybe the screenplay, don't think that's going to happen. That's going to take a lot for that to happen, but it's a possibility. I will just throw that out there. If it gets screenplay, and if somehow it gets editing, it's got a chance. And so I do still think it has a really good opportunity. Now, is Oppenheimer the runaway winner? Yes, it's the runaway winner at this point in time. And I would bet, if I had to bet my house on one of these films upsetting it, I couldn't do it. I'd say, yeah, you just take all I have, because Oppenheimer's going to win. So, yeah, and headcanon brings up a great point. Also, Payne isn't a producer or writer, so the movie can win a screenplay and picture without him winning an Oscar. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. It's the disdain for him doesn't necessarily tell me that it's out, right? That it's out. There's no way that Oppenheimer doesn't win editing. I agree it's going to win editing. I think it's going to. But I can't put all my stock in that specifically. I would put all my stock in it just winning Best Picture. It's going to win editing. But if we were to look at what The Holdovers was nominated in, it got really all the important ones it needed to get. Because that's the type of movie that only has to get screenplay, editing, couple of acting nominees, bada boom, you're in the running for Best Picture. And so I'm of the mind that it's got a great shot with Poor Things to kind of be an underdog. But again, it's not going to happen, y'all. It's not going to happen. Okay. Which Best Picture winner is your favorite? Rocky, I'll come back to you in just a second. Which Best Picture winner is your favorite? All time's tough, but just over the last 10 years, I'm between Spotlight and Parasite. I thought Spotlight was an outstanding picture. Outstanding picture. And even though Mad Max was probably more of my favorite movie from that year, I was very happy that Spotlight won. Same thing with Parasite. Outstanding picture. I may have preferred 1917, but I was very happy that Parasite won. You go back further than that, and here's a great one to bring up. Go back a little further than that. Gladiator. Just an epic masterpiece of a movie. Oh my God. An epic, epic masterpiece. Love that film so much. If Oppenheimer wins, where would it rank amongst your favorite Best Picture winners? It would be up there. It would be up there. It would be very, very, very high because I love this movie. And it could be recency bias, but I've already seen the film like 5 times. So, it's like I've soaked it in enough. But Rocky, hey, I want to say thanks. Hopefully I leave some of those fears of Payne not getting in for director. I don't think that should be enough to make you nervous. Now, what I would be more nervous about, Rocky McFly, is Holdovers getting that editing win, because that's big. That's very integral. And I just don't know if it's going to do it. Or that screenplay win. It's got to get one of those to have a shot. If we go through the ceremony, it's not getting one of those. We know Randolph's going to win. If it's not getting any of those, it's not going to win Best Picture. You can usually tell how these things go as it plays out. Last year with Everything Everywhere All at Once, win. Michelle, and I'm like, oh, it's getting best. Oh, it's going to win, baby. And I'm happy it did. Did I prefer Top Gun? Yeah. But I'm happy for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Birdman is my personal favorite movie to win Best Picture. Hey, that's a great movie. Listen, I really like Birdman. It's not one of my all-time favorites. Really, really good movie. I love the one-take gimmick shtick, whatever you want to call it. But it works so well in its favor. It's a beautiful film in that way. Ambiguous ending, but sometimes the best movies have the best and most ambiguous endings. Team Rainbow says Everything Everywhere All at Once and Oppenheimer back-to-back. Just seems right. It does, doesn't it, Team Rainbow? It just seems right. And that's the way I think it's going to go, the way it should go. Mike, with, I believe, the last super chat of the day. MCU MODOK versus Hillary Swank. What? That's the next Karate Kid. Oh, what is it? I don't know how to respond to that. Hillary Swank. Watch Hillary Swank. If you don't see the next Karate Kid in her, why were we even here in the first place? Why did I go live to see Hillary Swank as the next Karate Kid? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, it just does make sense, but it doesn't make sense that you don't think it makes sense. You get me? It's pineapple. It's pineapple. I'm so sorry for that. Top Gun Maverick. Austin, have you seen the new or even the original Mean Girls? Yes, the original's great. I love the original. I don't think I'm going to get to the new one before I do my the January tier list. That's the one movie this month that I missed. It sucks that I missed it. I wanted to see it. I planned on seeing it. Didn't get to go. Wanted to go. But I've just decided Austin's not going to see that movie today. Or the next day, or probably not until it comes to digital. But I hopefully we'll see it eventually. Maybe one of these days, GCOVP. But the original's great. I love the original. And finally, Hilary Swank from Rocky McFly had a hawk. So she is clearly better. I watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest last Friday and realized that I've seen more Best Picture winners from the 70s than almost any of the decade. Hey, that's a great movie headcanon. Go to my Letterboxd list. Favorites of all time. That's on there. It's a great film. Great film. One last thing. What does Mark Wahlberg think about the Oscar nominations? Oppenheimer was a little bit, it's a little lengthy for my taste. Killers of the Flower Moon, even more lengthy for my taste. Little too lengthy. Sometimes you don't like them long, you like them short. Sounds really weird. Poor Things sounded really weird. Didn't watch it. And The Holdovers, well, it's Boston. It's typical Boston, right? It's Boston. Got to go to Boston. There it is. Best movie of all time. Favorite movie ever. No, I didn't. I wasn't present. I had so many drugs while I was on that movie. No, I gotta stop. So many drugs. I don't even remember that movie. Who knows? Who knows where I was? Oh, God. Oh, my wife says, do you want Five Guys? Honey, I'm so sorry. I forgot to send you my order, honey. I love you. Please love me back. I just need your love. Please. Hey, guys, we got 69 likes. Let's just keep it there. That's weird. Let's just keep it there. No, if you want to drop a like, man, we're going to wrap this puppy up. Drop that like. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. And that would help this video, help the channel. You guys are amazing. You kept me 47 minutes longer than I wanted to stay here today. But that's because I like talking to you. So that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. You're awesome. I got to go. The allergies are killing me. I don't know how I didn't break out into a coughing spell. Five Guys for two people is like $93. No, listen to this. We're doing one like break meal this week. One like high class meal is what we're calling it. And we're choosing Five Guys because the prices are so freaking big. Okay. But we're doing one expensive meal, and that's the expensive meal. Look, it's fast food, but it's amazing. Actually, it's more like a casual. It's like a sit-in dining. It's like a sit-in casual, so it's not really fast food. But they got the best burgers, man. I pay a lot of money for those burgers, but I can only eat one every 6 months because they're so expensive. Hayden Reviews. Hey, Hayden, I haven't seen you today. You inspired me to start doing movie reviews. I love watching your videos all the time. Thank you. Hayden, you're the best. You're awesome. Rocky McFly says, bye. I'll just go watch The Holdovers again. Rocky, you and I may be doing the same thing. Look, you pay good money for a sack of greasy fries. Hey, don't you be talking about Five Guys fries. Those are the best. I love Five Guys fries. But you got to get the Cajun. You can't get the regular. You got to get the Cajun. The good thing about Five Guys fries is if you get a medium, they give you like 3 mediums in a bag. It's the coolest thing, which they should because it's $100. It's not that expensive, but it's a lot. Thank you, guys. I got to go. My wife's trying to order food. Hey, you're awesome. Come back tomorrow. We're doing January tier list. We're talking the best movies and the worst of the month. And I think I got like 12 movies to talk about. So, yeah, most unhealthy fries. That is why it is our cheat meal. Thank you, guys. Love y'all, and see you soon. Say bye, Doc.